He says if the mental stress which set the general defense system in motion is not of a temporary and passing nature, but persists week after week, the adrenal glands first attempt to adapt to the situation by increasing their output of hormones. But this plays havoc with various other processes not related to defense. The individual may develop arthritis or diabetes or any of the other so-called psychosomatic diseases. Inevitably, if the stress is continued beyond this general adaptation stage, the adrenal glands become exhausted. They change in color from yellow to brown. The stomach becomes spotted with ulcers. The resistance to cold and heat and to every kind of disease and injury collapses. And if the unfortunate individual does not fall victim to some infection, he will probably succumb to one of the heart, circulatory, or kidney diseases, which are today the greatest killers. Dr. Selye's work demonstrated that the defense system can effectively fight only one thing at a time. If in response to a mental tension caused by pain from a broken limb, for instance, it is set into action, it quickly organizes 100 specialized activities, in addition to its general work to repair the fracture. But if in the middle of this repair work, another stress caused by fear, let us say, is introduced, we either quickly succumb to the first injury or to shock resulting from second stress, or the broken limb simply does not mend and has to be amputated. In the case of other diseases, rather than fractures, healing is suspended and the diseases become chronic. Thus, if our general defense system is mobilized by mental tensions of a non-physical origin, our resistance to the express stresses imposed by such things as pneumonia, influenza, colds is decreased proportionally. What he's actually saying is that if you begin to imagine, fear, the sense of loss that you're going to lose your job or mortgage, or some imaginary fear while you're going on an airplane, that which I fear most has come upon me. Now, when the subconscious does not differentiate between an imaginary fear and a real fear, and therefore you can see the havoc that is played by stress and strain and anxiety when a person begins to worry and become anxious over conditions and circumstance events which are not happening at all, but in their mind may happen, or they imagine they are going to happen. Like a woman I knew who began to take out all the clippings of the newspapers of plane disasters. And she studied them. Finally, she got on a plane, and her son said she had to get on a plane where there was a disaster, because she'd been contemplating it for 1 year. If you're contemplating or meditating on or imagining the loss of your home, the loss of your job, a layoff, or that you're going to lose your home or can't pay the mortgage, these imaginary fears set your hormones, the pituitary and the adrenal gland, into action, and these hormones which are elaborated interfere with the chemistry of your system. There is no sickness, you have no fever, you have had no accident, no lesion, you don't have pneumonia, there's nothing for them to do. But they play havoc with the chemistry of your body. It's an entirely different thing if you're sick or have a fever or if you've been operated on, then the defense mechanism begins to repair your body. But there's nothing to repair in imaginary fears. And this is why Dr. Selye says you get all these diseases because of your imaginary fears, which bring on stress and strain. A young intern consistently worried about his future. He was a nervous wreck, full of stress and strain. He learned to paint a picture of himself as filling a staff position in a big hospital and possessing a sumptuous office in the city. In his imagery, he had a liveried chauffeur, and he imagined that friends constantly were congratulating him. He kept this mental picture before him. It was his mental movie. He attended to it and devoted himself to this picture. Whenever he was prone to worry or becoming anxious, he purposely flashed the picture on the screen of his mind. As the weeks passed by, a higher power moved on his behalf, honoring his dreams and making them all real. The chief surgeon invited him to be his assistant, and he married a very wealthy woman who purchased for him a most sumptuous office.